Okay, the first thing we're going to do is set up a badge room. I want to do this because I want to show you the best way and most appropriate way to use true and false. And then we'll do the conditional logic stuff later. So all I did was come to our story view of the file that you've either created or had and did a new scene. Under that new scene, a slide appeared, and then here we are. Now, to make a badge room, this is gamification. I'm sure you've all heard about it. And it's basically, you finish a section, you get yourself something. All I did was aesthetically put a trophy here, and then 3 areas on which, if it's visited, you would get a badge. Initially, of course, what you would do is have these things faded, grayed out, some sort of idea that there are trophies there, but then, of course, to get them earned, they would be in this state here versus the alpha state. So that's it. I have 2 states on each one. One is normal, that's the full color. The other I've called nope, just because I'm clarifying it was not earned yet. And then I set the initial state to nope, meaning every time they come here it will look like this, unless of course the variable was set to something different. So what we need to do is have a variable for each of these, right? And it will be a true-false variable. And it would be a variable that is checked each and every time we come to this stage. So again, we know how to do variables. The easiest way is just to go over to this X over here, right above the triggers panel. We'll do that, and I'm just going to call it one badge. So variable name, one badge. I'm going to change it to true false, and I'm going to set it to false because we haven't earned anything. Since we're here, I know I need 2 others, so I'm just going to go ahead and say 2 badge. Again, true false. And then just in case you're really getting into it, you know that down here we have these options here, so we can do a copy and paste and then just rename it. Just for those of you looking for shortcuts, because you see that's true, false, and false. Okay. So now we're good. We have 3 variables. We know what they mean. We know what we want them to do. We're good to go. And again, what I like to do, at least during the testing phases, is go ahead and put that badge, that variable on stage, just so I know it's working. You know, there could be a lot of things that happen, but now we can at least see that it's working this way. You know, of course, that we can put it here and just say percent, name a variable percent. Once you have that, you can copy it. Or, like I've done in class, I can go ahead and put this text box on here and then just do the reference thing and pick the variable. That way, there's no misspelling errors. I know that it's going to work because it looks like I spelled that one wrong, so good thing I did that. So let's preview this slide just to see. They should all show up false. False, false, false. So we're good to go. Now, what we would do in this case is check, right? So if they're false, we want the state of each of these to remain in the nope. If they're true, it's when we want them to switch over to normal to appear as if it was earned, okay? So to do that, all we do is we click on this trigger and we say, change the state of, and then I'm just going to start with 1. Oh, darn it. All right, I didn't label them. That's my bad, but we're okay. So change the state of picture 2 to normal when the timeline starts. And then I'm going to say, well, what timeline? Well, this one right here, the one that we're on. And then this is where the conditions come in, right? So it says show conditions. I only want that to change to normal if the variable we created is true, right? So I'm going to click on show conditions, and I'm going to click on this plus button right here. And in doing so, I'm going to say that. So the first thing they said is variables, and then it says if right here. So if the one badge variable is equal to true. And then I'm going to hit OK, and then I'll just look at it here. So the trigger wizard is saying, I want to change the state of picture 2, which in this case is this first badge, to normal, so it looks like it was earned, when the timeline starts. Another way of saying anytime they come to this slide. Then I want to pick this timeline. You see that I'm going to move this up here. My time is called badge, so it says badge. But I only want that to happen if my variable, one badge, is equal to true. So I'm going to hit OK. And you will do that for the other two as well. So I'll do it one more time. So I'm going to say change the state of. And I'm going to move this over so we can actually see it. So I'm going to say change the state of, now I think it's picture 3, okay, should be badge 2, to normal, right? So it looks like it's earned when the timeline starts, this timeline here called badge, but when? I only want that to happen if the variable, so what variable, to badge, is equal to true, and then hit OK. And just because I know what I'm doing, I'm just going to change this. I think it's picture 4. So we're good. And then I got to change that to 3. So all I did there was quickly just do that. So now I'm just going to preview this slide. And you can see easily that everything's fine. Everything's false. Nothing changed. I came to this timeline, and that's that. So that is part 1. What we're going to do later is set these variables to true, which then when we come to visit back that you'll see that'll change. So I'm going to do that momentarily, but for now I just wanted you to set up this here as far as what's called the badge room. So for now, all you have is this badge room, and we are good to go.